Hey guys, what's up? Hope you're doing well. This is part 4 of making Functional Legos. If you haven't checked out the first 3 parts, make sure to check it out. It means a lot to me. So yeah, let's get into this video. What would you say some of the highlights have been?
Of my college experience.
Yeah.
Uh, I would just say just the connections. It's not really a specific moment, but the connections I made along the way. I met plenty of friends, and that's really impacted my happiness. I'm literally writing about what it takes to be happy right now.
Cool. You had a message to the world.
I would say be kind. Be kind and love one another. Growing up, I was always taught, there's so many people in this world that are going to be out to get you, or that are going to not be kind to you, or that are going through their own struggles and are going to kind of throw that out to everyone else. And so it's very important to just spread love and to be kind to everyone, because you also never know what anyone's going through. A lot of times people can hide whatever feelings they have inside, but they could be hurting, so not being kind to them is only going to make it so much worse.
Well, I think it really depends on the person, because for some people, they are happy, they have I don't know, good friends and family, and everything else can go wherever it wants to go, and they're still happy. And some people prefer to feel successful, and some people are just perfectionists. So to me personally, I am kind of in between, because I like to feel understood by people that I'm close with, but I also like to feel like I'm not completely failing in school.
Yeah.
So.
How would you say y'all's experience has been?
Interesting.
Yeah, it's been
Interesting? Wow.
Yeah.
Way to elaborate.
Yeah.
Let me.
It was kind of weird entering because there was still COVID regulations and stuff like that. So it was kind of, yeah, it was strange.
Oddly enough, I would say it's gotten easier over the years, which is weird.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like that's the more time you spend doing something, the easier it gets.
Yeah. Like freshman year,
Yeah, so
surprisingly.
that's why. But what he said was a contradictory statement, this man.
Because freshman year, even though it's easy as hell, right? You coming in with a high school mentality, you don't really understand what you're doing.
See, I came from early college, so it's work and stuff was perfectly fine. Everything you had contact with professors, the way classes are structured, and having sorry word. I don't know, having the expectations already met.
What advice would you give to someone who struggles making friends?
It's a hard one because I started working on my social skills a lot when I was in 8th grade, on purpose, because I noticed I wasn't making friends a lot. Honestly, it's rough because there's just so many things. Sometimes it's you, sometimes you're the problem, sometimes you're not the problem. Sometimes you need to change what type of people that you accept in your life in the first place and make you feel like people are mean or uncomfortable. Because if you're around that, you're gonna believe that everyone is mean and rude and uncomfortable. So you have to get those people out of your life. Because who you hang around, for example, there's people I think are really cool, but they'll be hanging around these people that are not cool. So I'm not gonna do it. So yeah, you definitely gotta be careful about, who you're around. And I'm not saying be antisocial on purpose or anything, but and it's not even to say to be over selective. It's just like, this is so fun. This is so fun. I haven't done this in so long. I'm gonna buy some Lego. But yeah, like, let's say that you want to be a financially free individual. If all your friends spend their money like it's nothing, and they're always overdrafting their account, and they all think it's cool, you're not gonna get, they're not gonna feed the part of you that's gonna get you towards that financial freedom. So it's like being careful with that, and being open to meet people and learn something from them, even if they're not on that same wave, and just knowing that you can't bring everybody into every part of it. So you can be friends with somebody that spends their money like crazy, but they're really great with relationships, and learn something from that. Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone who struggles making friends?
Don't be afraid of like being rejected. Like, life's too short to like be scared, so take a shot, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Like, it's okay.
What would you say is the hardest part about growing up?
For me?
Yeah.
Probably when I first came here, like I didn't know any English, so I probably didn't talk to anybody for quite a few weeks. So I felt like I was saying stuff that I wasn't really like being heard, you know?
What would you say you're most proud of?
I'm not exactly sure. Pride isn't something that too often comes into my mind.
What would you say you're most thankful for?
Friends. Good friends are worth a lot.
Who struggles making friends? What advice would you give to them?
Just kind of like find conversation wherever you can. Like if you're in a public place and like you see something happen, or you're just kind of like waiting, like again, like in line at Starbucks, and it's like, oh, what did you order? Haha, it's taking so long. Just kind of like find little things that you can connect with about other people. And then something that I have been struggling to do, but I've been also told a lot, is just kind of like find other places for things that you like. Tomorrow I'm going to be going to this writing meeting or club where we talk about our writing, and I saw literally a poster for it this morning. I was like, oh, okay, that is a community of people who also do stuff that I like. I need to get off my ass and go and talk to these new people.
What would you say you're most afraid of?
Afraid? Oh, I don't know. Of like, just like not living up to my own expectations. Yeah. Because I set the bar pretty high for myself.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like I'm fine with like not living up to my expectations, but it's just like scary. Like not being what I want to be.
What would you say is the best part about growing up?
Probably just learning new things, having new experiences, just growing as a person. I guess you're not staying like in one place for 10 years straight. You're kind of just like moving and going with the flow of life. 'Cause I feel like when you're younger, life is, at least for me, it was a lot more predictable and like constant every day. But then when you're growing up, it's kind of more uncertain, and it gives you more room to grow.
How would you say your overall mental health is?
It's gotten a lot better. I used to have a lot of trouble with it in my early 20s, really late teens, early 20s. I used to struggle with it a lot more. And the thing is it's like, it's always a thing, you know, like it's, at least for me, it's always been like, it's not something you solve and then you're good to go, you know. So was that your question? I don't know.
I mean, that's good. Would you say that you're happy where you are in life right now?
Yeah.
What advice would you have like to everyone coming into college? What advice you'd give to someone going into college?
I would advise them to keep an open mind about how your track may change as you go into college, and it's okay if you change your major and it's not wasting time. I started off wanting to be a history teacher, and then I took my first class in that, and halfway through the class I decided that I did not want to do that anymore, and so I withdrew from the class, and that's okay. I feel like there's a stigma for people who change their mind halfway with things, and I don't think that there should be.
What would you say you're most proud of?
I'm definitely proud of simply who I am. You know, I feel like that's something important that should be emphasized more. You know, just be happy. Like, you know, people always, you know, think negative about, you know, things like, oh, I could have done this, I could have done this, you know, I couldn't be here. But they fail to realize, like, look how far you've gotten from, you know, 3 years ago. Like, you know, see who you are compared to who you were 3 years ago. You know, and when you do that, you really, like, see how much you advance as a person, you know, when you really, really take the time to reflect, not only on the negative stuff, but, you know, about all the good you've done in the past.
If you had a message to the world, what would it be?
Take your time. We're here for not a long time, so. Oh, and don't allow yourself to be wasted potential. I always stand by that. Everyone has potential, and just don't let it go to waste.
What advice would you give to someone who struggles making friends?
Somebody who struggles making friends is, you don't have to be like anybody. You don't have to necessarily fit into a certain, like, persona. You just be yourself. And it's such a cliche, but, like, don't try to be like, sometimes you see somebody on TV or a movie and you're like, oh, that person, like, people like this person. Why? Because he, you know, I don't know, like, action movie. He's kind of like an action movie hero, but, like, that's not a real thing. Maybe some of it is, but my point is just don't worry about fitting into somebody else's boxes. Don't worry about the way that you do something as much as what you're doing. Like, sometimes if you're trying to make friends with somebody, you might think, oh, I need to be this type of person. I need to, like, be funny, or I need to, like, say the words in the right order and get this person to like me. You don't need to do any of that. If you have to get somebody to like you, I don't think that person is really going to be your friend. So I think just, you have to be comfortable with, sometimes you try to be friends with somebody, it doesn't work out. It's just like anything. It's like applying for a job or like dating. Like, not everything works out all the time, but I think that's part of the process. So it's cliche, but be yourself. Don't feel the need to, like, fit into a certain idea that somebody has of who you should be, whatever that is. Just be yourself. That's my advice.
What would you say you're most proud of?
Most proud of? Most proud of? I would say probably, like, how far I've come from what I was in high school and that to now. I've changed a lot, and it's a lot for the better. I've like had to cut some people out of my life because they weren't good for me. I've changed a lot of habits that weren't good for me. So I would say probably like just like the shift I've done. You know, it's like getting rid of friends that weren't a good influence on me and were like not very like good friends as a whole.
Yeah.
It was hard, but it was for the better. And then like just self-reflecting on myself and seeing where like maybe I'm not doing okay. Maybe like I need to work on it, you know. And that's like through like me, because I wasn't the best of people. I wasn't the best person in high school by any means. And it took a harsh reality check for me to realize that. But when I did, I realized that I did need to work on it one way or another. So probably like this, you know, reiterating just like the shift from like being an awful person basically to trying to be at least somewhat decent. You know, we can't be perfect. We can at least be decent.
What would you say you're most proud of?
What am I most proud of? Myself. And I'm not trying to say that in like some I'm proud of me because I'm him. No, it's more of a everybody goes through different things in life, and I think everybody has their own different challenges and road steps to get where they are right now. And so I feel like I've gotten to a place where I've overcome a lot to get here where I'm sitting right now. And I'm proud of myself. There's a lot of times where I didn't think I could do it, or I didn't think I would do it, or I was thinking about taking a different path or a different route, or like saying just giving up and just be like, it's not worth it. But being able to stick the course and make sure that I stuck to, and just I'm proud of myself for it, because I feel like I don't know, and it's helped me build up a whole bunch of mental resilience that's like has helped me through it too, because without that I don't think I'd be here. Without that mental resilience and knowing I have to just smile, wave, and do it even though I don't want to, just know you have to push through. So I wouldn't be here, and so I'm just proud of myself for still pushing through and for being here. And I'm also proud of my parents too. I watched them grow up, and so watching them become better people with me and trying their hardest to support me as a person, I appreciate it. And so
What would you say is the best part about growing up?
Experience new things, experience the Lord, meeting new people, do what you want, and be happy with yourself.
What are some qualities you look for in a friendship, or that you think are important?
Being able to trust the other person and just enjoying their presence, being around them.
What are some qualities you look for in a friendship, or that you think are important?
Honesty is really important, and yeah, like honesty, loyalty, and having the best intentions for the other person.
And if you had a message to the world, what would it be?
a message to the world. That's a tough one. I know, I feel like I see that all the time on TikTok, so I'm trying to come up with one that I haven't seen before. Probably just doing whatever you're doing, making sure that it's impacting people around you in a positive way as well. Because our small actions can have a large impact on those around us without us even realizing. So always just being self-conscious, having that emotional intelligence that when you go out in the world, try to make sure whatever you're doing is going to impact it on a positive scale.
What would you say some of the struggles have been?
Probably like making friends and stuff, because like in high school, you know, you're with the same people every day.
Yeah.
But in college, you're around a different group of people every class, and so sometimes it can be hard to make friendships. And not only that, I'd say it's hard to make friendships that stick. Like, I have made friends, but sometimes after you move on from whatever was causing the friendship, like maybe being in a course together or something, it kind of dies out.
How would you say you handle stress?
By putting it away and not thinking about it. Either that or telling other people. I like telling other people about it because I feel like it helps you like find solutions to it.
Yeah.
Ways to deal with it to an extent.
What are some qualities you look for in a friendship that you think are important?
I think being able to, like I know I have a lot of differences in people. I'm Catholic, you know, it defines a lot of my beliefs, but having the ability to have different beliefs and still be friends, you know, is very important. Like like I haven't really ended a lot of friendships before, but here I came here and some friendships I had to end because they just, you know, they're like, well, we can't, you know, be friends if we have these different beliefs. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So I feel it's a sign of a truly great friendship if you can be friends despite the differences.
What advice would you have liked to have known coming into college?
Put yourself out there more, join more things. Because when I first started, I was kind of just in my apartment, not doing anything, and it kind of held me back a little bit. But once I started doing stuff, then it was easier.